DUI laws with zero tolerance, legal BAC, open container, and penalties, Part 2. California. DUI penalties, 1-year license suspension, BAC 0.01% to 0.04%. DUI sanctions, BAC 0.05% or more, include a $100 fine, a 1-year license suspension, and a requirement to complete an alcohol education course, over 18s only. Consumption and possession, $250 $500 in fines and 24 to 48 hours of community service. DUI sanctions include a $1,000 fine, a 30-day license suspension, and a 90-day jail sentence. Having and consuming, $100 to $1,000 in fines and up to 90 days in prison. Colorado. DUI penalties include a fine of up to $100, court fees, surcharges, and a maximum 3-month license suspension. A $250 to $1,000 fine, 24 hours of community service, and up to 12 months in jail are the penalties for possession and consumption. Subsequent alcohol offenses and associated offenses. Only first-time violations are covered by the aforementioned sanctions. The penalties you face if you are found guilty of a second or third underage drinking offense will be even more severe. Keep in mind that providing alcohol to a person who is underage is illegal under the laws of the majority of states. This sometimes includes providing alcohol to guests who are under 21 during a gathering. State by state, the penalties for providing alcohol to a minor vary, but sometimes involve a $5,000 fine and a year in jail. Laws with zero tolerance, exceptions. There are over 40 states that have zero tolerance policies with exceptions that, under some situations, let a person under the age of 21 to consume or possess alcohol. Underage drinkers are allowed on private properties that don't sell alcohol, in Alaska, Colorado, Delaware, Kansas, New York, and more than 20 additional states with parental consent. Alcohol consumption by minors on private property is permitted in Louisiana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, Oklahoma, and South Carolina without parental consent. Only a few states allow minors to consume alcohol on property where it is sold as long as their parents are there and provide their permission. Additionally, many states allows anyone under the age of 21 to consume or possess alcohol for religious objectives, for example drinking wine in church. For medical reasons, when prescribed by a doctor. Purposes related to government work, for example working undercover with the police. Educational objectives, for example when studying in culinary school. Exceptions for urgent medical situations. An underage individual who reports a medical emergency involving another underage drinker is protected from alcohol consumption and possession penalties in 17 states and the District of Columbia. This law is intended to support young people in speaking up and seeking medical care without worrying about legal implications. The first person to call in a medical emergency is the only person to whom this rule applies in those cases. Charges for possession and usage would still apply to any additional minors. Open container rules. Even if no one is drinking from it, having an open container of alcohol in a car can result in harsh penalties. Open container regulations vary significantly from state to state, much like all other alcohol regulations. Remember that if the driver and/or passengers of the vehicle are under the age of 21, it is always unlawful to have an open container of alcohol in the vehicle because minors are not permitted to possess alcohol. Most states describe an open alcohol container as one that 1. Had previously been opened. 2. A faulty seal. 3. Contents that were eliminated in part. There are frequently exceptions to the open container regulations that govern where alcohol may be kept in a vehicle. Typically, it is okay to keep an open container of alcohol in the trunk or another area of the car where the driver or passengers cannot access it. A punishment of up to $1,000 could be imposed on you if you are discovered driving around with an unlicensed open container of alcohol. Few states do not prohibit passengers from having open containers. In certain jurisdictions, including Delaware, Tennessee, Connecticut, and Virginia, an adult passenger is permitted to have an open container of alcohol in their car as well as consume alcohol from it. For information on the open container policy in your area, consult the driver's manual for your state.